Topping our lineup here on The Now, dogs are getting sick, even dying after being exposed to algae. It's happening within hours of pets coming into contact with the infected water. We have what you need to be looking for. And there's a new type of therapy that's trying to help with the anxiety that comes with money troubles. We're going to get into how that works. And more businesses are opening, promising to help you lose weight by designing a diet that's based on your DNA. So we're going to be looking into whether that is really worth the money.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you for joining us for the Now Indy on this Storm Team 6 alert day. We look over downtown Indianapolis, and yes, things are quiet with mostly cloudy skies, but as we go through tonight, we are going to get some stormy weather rolling in. Right now, we're just kind of setting the stage for those storms to be moving our direction. It's 81 in downtown, 82 in Bloomington, where you've got a little more sunshine, and as that sun peaks out there, that's going to help to fuel some of those storms. But right now, radar and satellite, things are fairly quiet. But here is what's coming our way. We've got that enhanced risk of severe weather from Indianapolis back to the state line with Illinois. You can see that's a 3 out of 5 on the scale there. The rest of central Indiana under that slight risk of severe weather, primarily for some gusty winds here after about midnight through the 6 a.m. time period, and also could have some isolated tornadoes out there we'll be watching for as well. But over the next few hours, things stay quiet here. Again, once we get to around midnight, we'll watch those showers and thunderstorms to be moving in, and those will last through the overnight hours, so a good time to make sure that Storm Shield app is loaded up and ready to go. Amanda?
Thank you, Kyle. An emotional moment as a Jackson County, Indiana inmate gets to surprise his mother for her very last chemo treatment. The Jackson County Sheriff says Brad Parks has been extremely active as part of the inmate work crew and has even helped at the Seymour Harvest Church food pantry. So to reward Parks for his good attitude, the sheriff's office surprised him by taking Parks to his mom's last chemo treatment, where she triumphantly got to ring the bell.
This is my last day of chemo. I'm so glad I've made it. And this is for everybody who's going to make it.
And Jackson County Sheriff Rick Myers says if inmates take the time to step up and open their hearts to change, they are going to get rewarded for it.
Today, the Trump administration introduced a new policy that will make it harder for legal immigrants to get a green card. Corey Rangel has a look at the plan and why immigration advocates say it will hurt the country.
President Trump continues his crackdown on immigration, this time targeting legal immigrants. The Trump administration will make it harder for legal immigrants to get their green card or visa if they use public benefits like food stamps, Medicaid, or housing assistance.
We certainly expect people of any income to be able to stand on their own 2 feet. And so if people are not able to be self-sufficient, then this negative factor is going to bear very heavily against them.
The Trump administration's goal is to cut back on the number of immigrants who use taxpayer benefits while allowing more educated and wealthy immigrants into the U.S.
It penalizes you for not being wealthy and for being a person of color.
Olivia Golden is the executive director of the Center for Law and Social Policy, a nonprofit group that advocates for low-income people.
This is hateful and damaging both to immigrants and their families and to our communities and our national future, and we will fight back against it together.
The new rule is scheduled to take effect on October 15th, and immigration advocates are already planning legal challenges. In Washington, D.C., I'm Corey Rangel reporting.
All right, Corey, thank you. Let's start the Now News feed. A company targeted in ICE raids last week is now holding a job fair. Cook Foods is a chicken processor in Mississippi. Its plant and several others were raided last week. 680 total people taken into custody. Cook's now using the job fair to secure workers. It's unclear just how many of their employees were arrested. Well, no deal between the U.S. and the Taliban. Talks ending today in Afghanistan. It's unclear what moves are next. These two sides are negotiating, the U.S. pulling troops from the country. U.S. wants the Taliban to agree Afghanistan will not become a safe harbor for terrorists. Democratic presidential candidate Tulsi Gabbard going on active military duty. She'll take a 2-week break from the campaign for National Guard duty. She'll be on a training mission in Indonesia. The Hawaiian congresswoman served 2 tours in the Middle East. Well, more in our lineup now. Dogs are getting sick, even dying after being exposed to algae. It's happening within hours of pets coming into contact with that water. We have what you need to be looking for. Jeweler.
Welcome back to the Now Indy on RTV6. Hiring Hoosiers is an RTV6 initiative to help connect you with the job you want or the education to help you get that career. Purdue Extension wants your kids to get excited about science, and you can make that happen at the Indiana State Fair. The Mighty Microbes Interactive Exhibit is inside the Purdue Extension Agriculture Horticulture Building. It explains what microorganisms are and how they can make things like foods, pharmaceutical products, and biofuels. Now, the exhibit has multiple sections, including letting kids match the proper medicines that get rid of bad microbes like a virus. Purdue Extension says their goal is for kids to start getting interested in becoming scientists.
What we've learned is that we have to get them interested early. When they learn about the science and the neat things, the occupations that they could potentially have going forward, allows them to grow and to think about what opportunities they're going to have for the future.
Again, this is at the State Fair all week, and they also will take the exhibit to kids' museums around the area.
Let's start the Now News feed. Outback Steakhouse is trying to make it right after telling a woman with a special needs child to leave in Maryland. Restaurant's giving Amanda Braun credit after saying that her son was making too much noise. Braun says she most likely won't use that credit. Well, new surveys looking at what drinks are most popular in the United States. Beer took the top in Gallup's new poll, but the poll also found that people who prefer liquor is up 19% from last year. J.D. Salinger, one of the most famous authors of all time. Salinger passed away in 2010. Apparently wasn't that big a fan of technology, but his son is now releasing his work as ebooks. Now you want to look for famous titles like Catcher in the Rye as an ebook being available later this week. Dogs have been getting sick after going for a swim. There have been recent reports of this happening in Georgia, North Carolina, and Texas. Now, many of these cases involved blue-green algae. One family in North Carolina had taken their 3 Westies to a pond. All 3 got sick. 2 of them even had seizures.
People need to know about this. Like I said, if we had any clue that this was a thing, they would have never come. I had no idea. And then once we got to the emergency vet last night, they also weren't sure.
Unfortunately, all 3 died within 2 days. Now, the algae is usually found in shallow water when it gets warm outside. It can be found all over the country. You may even be able to spot it before your dog gets in. Sometimes you'll see the algae or blooms floating at the top of the water. We spoke to a vet who says it is important to get your pet medical attention as soon as you see any signs of an illness.
It's usually gastrointestinal signs. Dogs are just not acting themselves, not feeling well for a day or two. Vomiting, diarrhea, lethargy would be the most common things we see.
Now, dogs can ingest the toxins in different ways. Some may swallow water while they're swimming. Others may ingest it when they lick their fur. Vets suggest that you wash off your dog right after their swim. Okay, let's get back to our lineup here. More businesses are opening, promising to help you lose weight by making a diet plan that is based on your DNA. We're going to take a look at whether that's really worth the money.
Only on RTV6 News.
One of the latest diet trends is even setting up shop in strip malls now. We're talking about dieting based on your DNA. Annie Taylor showing us what makes this plan different and if it is really worth it.
I was born in Mexico. All my family has diabetes and weight problems. So it's a lifestyle.
That's Anna. And like many of us, she struggled with her weight and health for years.
I was diagnosed with diabetes too about 7 years ago. And since then, I started taking meds. I tried different things to manage my weight. Unfortunately, nothing worked out.
It wasn't until a few months ago did she try the newest diet making headlines, DNA dieting.
If you are out there by yourself trying to do all these things, it is very hard.
Profile Sanford offers what most weight loss memberships offer: meal plans, one-on-one coaching, and food, which is great for someone like Anna who's been struggling to do it on her own.
I'm addicted to carbs. I love carbs.
Profile approaches dieting a little differently.
Okay, so
with this, a DNA test.
We do a mouth swab. We send it off. It takes about 6 weeks to process.
Amber Reed, a nutrition coach with Profile, says the results show you how well and how fast a member's body breaks down carbohydrates.
Basically what it does is it takes the guessing game out of what you should put into your meal plan, what you should put into your body. You know specifically what your body needs for the carbohydrates.
Sounds great, right? Well, registered dietitian Stephanie Thompson says not all diets are one size fits all.
Any diet plan that is asking you to cut out entire food groups, that's where people need to be careful.
Profile costs $199 to join and $59 a month after that. Thompson says if Profile works, great, but a doctor's visit might be cheaper.
Registered dietitians are often covered by health insurance, and you can get the same result.
For Anna, she's lost 15 pounds, but it's not all about losing. It's what she's gaining, her health. She's off most of her medications and preparing to be off her type 2 diabetes medication soon.
I feel, very healthy, and I think it can be more healthy, so that's a good thing.
Now, Profile is working great for Anna, but one thing that everyone can agree on is that you need to pick a diet or something that is more of a lifestyle that you can sustain for a long haul to change your health for the good. I'm Annie Taylor reporting.
All right, Annie, thank you. And if you still haven't bought everything that your kid needs for the new school year, you want to hear about these sales. Office Depot is offering some backpacks for as low as $10, also offering a 20% off coupon on its website. Staples also offering a couple of coupons depending on how much you spend. And if your student's headed to college, the Container Store is offering 20% off back-to-school purchases.
Thank you, Chris. Doctors used to treat you if you were sick and didn't ask questions about money until after the appointment. Now, those days appear to be gone, at least at some health clinics. Working for You, John Matarese shows us why, in some cases, doctors can refuse to look at you so you don't waste your money.
Imagine taking your child to a walk-in health clinic, then being denied treatment because a past bill had not been paid. One mom says it happened to her, and it's not right. Jessica Vance wanted to avoid a $1,000 emergency room bill when her daughter developed a cough and fever. So she took her to a walk-in clinic. But there she got some stunning news.
I said, what do you mean they won't see her? Like, you have a balance due.
The check-in woman said Jessica had a $690 unpaid balance from an insurance payment that had not yet processed. So the little girl couldn't see the nurse.
And I said, can't you call the insurance? I mean, no.
Reluctantly, she put the past due amount on her credit card.
I ended up having to pay $690 that day for her to be seen.
Can a health clinic refuse to look at a sick girl because her mom owes money from a past bill? Well, contrary to what a lot of parents would believe, the answer is yes. Since 1986, the Federal Emergency Medical Treatment Act requires doctors to treat patients with an emergency condition before discussing payment. But a doctor can refuse treatment if it's not life-threatening, and that happens often, according to an NPR report. Jessica, though, says the bigger issue is once her insurance paid out, the clinic still hadn't refunded her $690 2 months later. So what happened when you said, where's my money?
They keep saying it's in process or this person's not in the office.
She understands doctors want to be paid first, but she says she wants her overpayment back.
They've got payment from my insurance and payment from me, and so they got, double payments.
After we contacted the clinic, it promised to speed up the refund, but remember, they are allowed to deny treatment unless it's a true emergency, so don't waste your money. I'm John Matarese for RTV6.
A country music star will help deliver the holiday spirit in Brown County in December. Sarah Evans will perform at the new Brown County Music Center on Saturday, December 21st. It's part of her At Christmas tour. That's the name of her full-length Christmas album, which features holiday classics, including Silent Night, Winter Wonderland, and I'll Be Home for Christmas. Tickets for Sarah Evans' December 21st show will go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. at browncountymusiccenter.com and ticketmaster.com. You can also go to the Brown County Convention and Visitors Bureau Visitor Center for tickets.
Oh, the snow's going to be flying before you know it, Amanda.
Don't say that just yet. Not ready yet.
Yeah, this summer just seems to be zipping by. Kids already going back to school, but we've got the Indiana State Fair, and you can see a live view there. I think it's going to be pretty nice weather at the fair this evening. It's later tonight that we're going to see some of that stormy weather develop, and you can see the view from our Weather Now camera in Bloomington. A little bit of that sunshine working into the mix right now. Your temperature in Monroe County, 82 degrees. It's 81 right now in Indianapolis. Lafayette in the upper 70s. We've turned our winds out of a southerly direction today, and that's helping to bring in that more humid air. And also, we're going to wring that out into some heavy rainfall tonight. So we'll have some scattered thunderstorms, and check out that low temperature into the middle 70s tonight. Not going to do a whole lot of cooling at all. It stays warm and muggy. Here's TrueCast by 1 o'clock in the morning, and that's when we'll start to see some of those storms moving in here. I think primarily after midnight tonight over the western half of central Indiana. They slide south and east from there. there. You can see some of the heavy rainfall and possibly severe storms by about 4 o'clock in the morning through Bloomington into Columbus, Greensburg. So this is going to be an overnight event for us. I do think that the storms will hold together. They're not really going to be driven by any of that daytime heating for us. But by the time we get into tomorrow morning, this is TrueCast at 8 a.m. We should be in much better shape. Just a couple of isolated showers here as we go through our Tuesday afternoon. But that rainfall, it could be heavy at times. Look at this, coming in around 2.5 inches if you get under a couple of those thunderstorms. So some localized flooding possible overnight. Of course, we've been so dry that should recede fairly quickly. Tomorrow's forecast, we've got an isolated shower into the afternoon. Still going to be on the muggy side, though, until a cold front moves through, with temperatures making their way into the lower 80s. About 85 degrees for you in the Bloomington area, 83 in Lafayette and Muncie as well. Wednesday, for the middle of the week, a little more sunshine, and we'll see temperatures a little bit cooler here as well, only into the lower half of the 80s as we go through your Wednesday. Next 4 days of your forecast, we put it together here, and we've got that chance for a few showers tomorrow. Otherwise, we're really drying things out here once again. We'll have those afternoon highs pretty comfortable and seasonal in the lower to middle 80s. Chris?
Let's start the Now News feed. A new lawsuit says poor maintenance of water systems caused a deadly Legionnaire's disease outbreak at Atlanta's Sheraton Hotel. The man bringing the suit claims that he got the disease at the hotel last month. There were 12 confirmed cases and 1 death. That bacteria can come from warm water. Bill Cosby's lawyers arguing today, trying to overturn his sexual assault conviction. Now, a court isn't expected to rule for several months on this. Cosby's defense says the judge in his original case made mistakes to bolster the prosecution's arguments. The 82-year-old serving 3 to 10 years in prison. The Navy making changes after a deadly 2017 crash. Destroyers will no longer have touchscreen controls instead of mechanical controls starting next year. USS John McCain collided with a Liberian oil tanker off Singapore in 2017, killing 10 sailors. Young people are more likely to use marijuana if they vape. That's according to new research out today from Boston's Children's Hospital and Harvard Medical School. They say nicotine rewires the brain if it's still developing, and it can change how people crave addictive substances. The trade war is affecting school cafeterias, but it's actually in a positive way. The U.S. Ag Department is giving away food to schools. The food is bought from farmers who are being hurt by trade negotiations. Some of the items you can expect on your kid's school menu this year because of this: kidney beans, apples, and oranges. A church in Chicago is attracting people from all over the world, but it's not for its sermons. Elizabeth Ruiz found the music as a religious experience all of its own.
Hi, my name is John Shear. I'm the organist and director of music at Fourth Presbyterian Church in Chicago.
Music has a way of binding us together.
Hearing a pipe organ connects you to the universe in a primal way and a very, very profound way.
I think it's amazing and magnificent. I feel like God was here and he was right next to me.
John discovered his calling to be a musician early in life, and he's a big reason why this organ in Chicago exists today.
This is the largest pipe organ in Chicago with well over 8,000 pipes. You've heard the phrase pulling out all the stops. Well, this is where it really comes from. So when you pull out all the stops, you're going all the way and you're going to get a big, big sound.
The creation of the pipe organ took 10 years. Designed by John Michael Quimby and a consultant from New York, the instrument was completed in 2016.
It's really like having a whole orchestra right under your fingertips.
To appreciate the instrumental wonder, you have to go inside.
So the organ starts in the basement where the blower is located. So this is the blower for the organ, and it's pushing lots of air up into the pipe. The air from the blower goes through massive tubes up to the pipes, and the pipes go all the way up to the ceiling. It's like being in a tree house at this point because you're surrounded by so many different sections of the organ. The pipes are located in the front of the church, they're located in the back of the church, and they're located on the side of the church. So the whole building, in effect, becomes part of the instrument from basement to ceiling, front to back, side to side. I hope that when people hear this organ, they feel comfort and healing. I hope that when they hear this organ, they are inspired and lifted up. And I hope that when they experience the sound of this organ, they realize that there's something in the universe that's larger than them.
In Chicago, I'm Elizabeth Ruiz reporting.
Elizabeth, thank you. And finally in our lineup today, money issues can cause a lot of anxiety, but now there's a new type of therapy that's trying to help with the emotions that you may be feeling. We're going to get into how that works.